Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are playing some more Historic here on Magic Arena. And another day in December means another day in Decktember. So we are playing a sweet deck brought to you by our good friend in Discord, SuperEchidna. And yeah, we are again playing another Decktember deck. So let me tell you a little bit about Decktember real quick if you're not familiar with it. Decktember is our way of saying thank you to everybody for helping to grow the channel by building an awesome and amazing community. I love each and every one of you. Now, so what we're doing is we are playing only viewer submitted decks during the month of December, and we're going to play your exact version of your deck. And then we're going to play a few games. Then we're going to make a few changes, try to help improve your deck maybe, or maybe look at it from a different perspective, or just maybe add a little different idea to it, and maybe a little different spin. And then we're going to take the deck for a spin and see how we do with it. And then we're going to talk about all the games, in between and afterwards. So that is what Decktember is. And if you want to be considered for a Decktember deck and possibly have your deck featured, all you have to do is join the Discord, hop down to the Decktember channel, and make sure you grab the template and submit your deck. That it's located in the pinned post. So that's, again, all you have to do. And there's still plenty of time, plenty of decks left to be featured. So yeah, we pull a random one every day. And also, if you enjoy the channel and the video and the whole Decktember theme, all I ask is that you like, comment, subscribe, check out all the cool links down below. So with that being said, let's hop into today's deck, and we are playing Golgari Superfriends. Again, this deck was brought to us by SuperEchidna in the Discord. So we are playing their list, and this is again, Golgari Superfriends. So that means we're going to have a lot of Planeswalkers, probably a lot of control because we're playing Planeswalkers. So let's take a look. Looks like we have a bunch of mana dorks here. We've got 2 Leafkin Druids. 2 mana 0/3s, tap for green mana. 3 copies of Paradise Druid, can tap for any color mana. That's good since we are playing more than one colors. And we also have a couple of Leyline Prowlers. So 3 mana 2/3 Death Touch Lifelink, adds a mana of any color. Really cool on multiple fields. This is a really cool card. I really like this card. It's very flavorful. It's got Death Touch, it's got Lifelink, adds mana of any color. This is used in a variety of different decks. So now let's look at some removal. We have 2 copies of Assassin's Trophy. This allows us to destroy any permanent on the board that our opponent controls, and they get to go get a basic land. Sometimes this card is really good against decks that don't play basic land. One of those decks being the colorless deck that just so rampant all the time. They just don't play any basic lands, so you get to kill any permanent against that deck for free. We have 3 copies of Murderous Rider. Murderous Rider is great for killing planeswalkers or creature. It is targeted removal, and then on top of that, it does allow us to put down a 2/3 beater with lifelink after that in order to try to actually win the game. Looks like we have 2 copies of Midnight Reaper. So whenever a non-token creature we control dies, we take a damage and then we draw a card. So with a bunch of creatures that we have in play, if they get us back, we're going to be refilling our hand with each creature that dies. 3 copies of Questing Beast. Again, Questing Beast, with all 47 lines of text here in the text box, it's probably the best green creature on Arena, if not best creature on Arena. So yeah, we definitely want to be playing a lot of these. And then let's see, what other creatures do we have? We have 2 copies of Massacre Girl. It's a 4/4 menace for 5. When it comes into play, we get to give each other creature -1/-1 until end of turn. And then anytime a creature dies, during that turn that it comes into play, each other creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So this kind of just changed. So if we hit one creature and there's a bunch of creatures in play, they're just going to hopefully keep chaining. We could potentially just wipe the board by playing a Massacre Girl. And the only other creature in this deck, it looks like, is going to be Beanstalk Giant. This is an adventure also with Fertile Footsteps. This lets us search out land out, so it lets us ramp a little bit, and then later on we get to play a big beefy Beanstalk Giant that has power and toughness equal to the number of lands we have in play. So let's look at everything else. We're just going to go in order here. Nothing crazy. We do have 2 copies of Vraska, Golgari Queen. This allows us to sack permanents to draw cards and gain a life. We can destroy target non-land permanent that costs 3 or less. And then we can give ourselves an emblem that says whenever we deal combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. So that is definitely a win condition with the amount of creatures and stuff that we have. We have a couple copies of Death Sprout, 4 mana instant removal spell, kills a creature, and then we get to search our library for a basic land and put it into play tapped. We have 1 copy of Return of the Wild Speaker, 5 mana. We get to choose one. We either draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures, so we'll probably be drawing like 4 from Questing Beast or Massacre Girl, or 1 billion from this giant, this Beanstalk Giant. Or we can give all of our non-human creatures +3/+3. We have, and I think we don't have any actual humans. We all just zombies, elementals, druids. So we could potentially just overrun our opponent that way. A couple copies of Vivian Monsters Advocate. We can look at the top card of our library, cast creatures from the top of our library. We can make 3/3 beasts, and then we could basically get additional value from playing a creature 1 turn. Couple copies of Fine Finale. This is a great board wipe. -4/-4, and then we could put 2 counters on a creature. And then this is really like the old school Golgari board wipe when Arena first came out. A lot of decks were playing this. It's just really good with something that has at least 3 toughness. That way it actually lives through the -4/-4 once you put the counters on it. Or we can just pay 2 mana and return 2 of our creatures to our hand from our graveyard. And then, yeah, we just have our big payoffs here. We have 2 copies of Liliana. We can make tokens. We can make everybody sacrifice creatures. We get to draw cards when that happens. Or we can ultimate to make them sacrifice basically all of their stuff. Garrick is kind of a really good finisher for 0. We get to make 2 2/2s. And then anytime those die, he gets more loyalty. We can destroy a creature and draw a card, or we can give all of our creatures +3/+3 and trample, and then as an emblem, just not even a temporary ability. And then last but not least, Golgari's favorite sorcery, Casualties of War. For 6 mana, choose 1 or more, and you get to basically destroy up to 5 permanents, depending on what you want to target and what's in play. So this deck looks pretty sweet. A lot of Planeswalkers, a lot of big, beefy creatures. So we have 24 land in this deck. 2 Overgrown Tombs, 2 Fable Passages, 2 Interplanar Beacons for a little bit of life gain with the Planeswalker synergy, 1 Castle Locthwain, and just the rest basic, because we have some, you know, things that let us search out basics. So there is no sideboard in this deck. Again, this deck does not need a sideboard. We're playing best of 1, and we have nothing to manipulate our sideboard, no kind of tutors or anything like that. So all right, SuperEchidna, thank you so much again for submitting this deck. And again, if you want to be considered for a Decktember deck, please join the Discord, head down to the Decktember channel, and grab that template from the pin post and submit your deck, and there is still plenty of time. So let's hop into the games, and we will see you guys soon. All right, we're going to head into this queue with some Golgari Super Friends. Let's see if this deck can assemble the friends together and throw down the beats. We get to go first, so this is a pretty early Questing Beast, and I'm fine with that. I am 100% okay. So they look to be on a colorless deck. Yep, still on a colorless. Still on a colorless deck. I mean, we're just gonna send in the clowns, right? Maze Mind Tome, okay. They don't have ramp, which is good. Oh, we definitely did not mean to attack with the Leafkin Druid. But we won't tell them that, right? Either way, I mean, we were not going to play Massacre Girl there. Maybe we should have, but I just don't think that's correct. Well, had we known... Alright, worst case scenario, they play an Ulamog next turn. Or an Ugin, I'm sorry, not an Ulamog. Well, definitely worst case scenario, an Ulamog comes out, but I don't foresee that happening. Okay. So Ugin comes down, potentially kills Questing Beast. We still get to get in for 4. They're doing pretty good with the life gain. They would be dead if they hadn't played those. So evenses. All right, that was a great draw. Artifact land? Set them back quite a bit. We don't really care about the Maze Mine Tome. Or we do. They have 7 mana. How greedy is this? They have 6 mana, but they're going to have access to 7 next turn. Oh, this is a legendary creature. Well, no, we're going to do this. Land. Artifact. Puts them back down to 4 land, right? I always forget Massacre Girl is a legendary, right? She just doesn't seem like a legendary because she doesn't have a name. Right? I would not hate drawing a Questing Beast or one of our Planeswalkers or... We don't get a lot of value if we draw another Casualties of War. I'll take it now. We definitely get value now. Not... We're going to be back up to 7 mana this turn, potentially, if they have a land. We're going to keep the Murderous Rider. This has Menace, so maybe they play Ugin and then plus to make a creature thinking they can block, but in reality they can't. All right. They just, they're just buying all the time. I have 8 next turn. This sets us up for a pretty good turn next turn. So we're gonna go trample.
Beauty lies in variation.
Okay, here comes Ugin. So stupid. God, that's such a stupid card. Such a stupid card, right? Oh, what a stupid, stupid card. Oh yeah, now we just probably can't win here. Now we probably just get Ulamogged. Pretty sure we just get a little more. Oh no, just another Ugin? Okay. Just another Ugin. I think the only misplay that we made this game was potentially not casting the Massacre Girl that one turn that we attacked with the elemental. Doesn't really do anything, right? This just kind of delays the inevitable. Yep, up to 4. Now you can protect from a questing beast. We're gonna give it 2 turns, right? Oh. Alright, well, 1 turn. 1 turn. Sure. I don't know why it's asking me to resolve anything. All right. I don't think there's anything we can actually draw. Definitely not that. Not that. And we are GGing. Good game. All right, Nasrallah. Good game. Good game. Ugin is a stupid magic card. All right, let's head into game 2. We'll have a little bit of better luck if after we hydrate, correct? Right? Let's do it. Let's hydrate. Uh-oh. We're against Jace. We are not going to be able to keep this hand. We don't have any green. If we had a green, we would probably keep this, but this is a little bit better. So what do we get rid of here? I think we actually get rid of the... No. I think it's the Rider. Right, we have an early, depending on what they're playing, you know, we want to have a cheaper removal spell. Right. Just playing weird Jeskai stuff. We're about to get Tails ended. Tails end would have been pretty funny there. That would have gotten us. So I wonder how many basics this deck is playing, right? I think we're going to force out a God's Willing or something along those lines. Yep. So this does look to be like a feather deck. Right, so we are going to Leyline Prowler. This probably gets killed. This probably, what's that one spell? Deal 4. Oh no, okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is an instant, right? Thank you for doing that, by the way. Thank you for casting that. Oh, this is great. This is great. This is a great turn. So, we're not going to get to deal any damage. But we have a big old lifelinker here. Oh, Jace, I'm so sorry about that. That was just a timely tapping out of a shock that you should not have done. That was your demise. But thank you for playing. That was still a good game. I was not expecting like a Jeskai Feather deck. So, all right, on to the next game. All right, well, here comes our little mini boss. We are 1-1. I'm already eyeballing some changes here. I'm looking at the list over here on this monitor. Eyeballing some changes. I don't know if we can keep this. I feel like though this hand is not horrible against like a goblin deck. It might be too slow though, because they're gonna always have turn 3. Okay, it's not goblins. Oh, is this a freaking treasure hunt deck? This is a treasure hunt deck, isn't it? Oh, cycling deck? Yeah, the Lonely Sandbar kind of threw me off there. So, I don't... Oh, right on time, 2-drop. I guess this is better against this deck. Seeing what kind of counter spells they run. Okay. Sensor's kind of brutal. Buffalo Haven. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is a teamer deck. This is going to be pretty good, right? Because we get to also play a Leafkin Druid, and then if we... No, we get to Casualty Zor next turn, also. But we really need them to play something to get any value out of it. You know, we're just gonna go for the crazy big 6/6 here. And just force action out of their hand. Okay. Completely fine. We just want them to play things, right? I just want to get a little bit of value. Enchantment land. Is it right to try to go for the casualties here? I don't think so. See what other counters they have. They don't have another counter. I think Reach is correct here.
Is our greatest strength.
It's because we know they have Shark Typhoon. This is just a cycling deck. Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna see like a new perspectives here probably. Do we lose here? No, I think we do. Right? It's crazy. I actually saw somebody recently on in our Discord actually posted a new perspectives list. It hasn't gotten pulled yet, but yeah, I wonder if I wonder if trying to go for the casualties of war there might have been the right play. At the time, though, I didn't know that we were necessarily playing against a all-cycling deck. I thought it was just like a weird control deck. All right. I mean, you definitely got us. Living the dream. I just want to know what the win condition is going to be, right? Okay. I'm still waiting to see what the win condition is. They don't have any black mana to bring back all their cycling cards yet. So I'm very curious on how they win. Another new perspectives. Yeah, I think they are fizzling. You don't typically have to cast 2 new perspectives in one turn, right? You only have 11 cards left. They don't have any white mana either, so like all the cards that I'm thinking about how they kill. Six cards left. They also could have, they played a land and then maybe drew the land that they were going to potentially get with the Sheffet Monitor. Oh, yep. See, they did have the land. Okay. All right. Good game. Good game. Let's see how they kill us. The issue is, though, they only have 3 cards left. Again, I still... Oh, Thassa's Oracle. Dirt to dirt. Always forget about the old Thassa's Oracle. Oh, man. Well, we couldn't do anything about that, so good game, Vecna. Good game. So let's go talk about this deck. All right, so let's talk about this Golgari Superfriends deck that SuperEchidna sent to us. So, first off, I don't think that there are enough Planeswalkers in the deck. Well, let me rephrase that. I think that our Planeswalkers are a little stretched thin and maybe not selected accurately enough. So, we are going to look at, kind of repositioning the Planeswalkers. Usually with the Super Friends deck, you do want to focus more on the Planeswalker aspect. So I do think a lot of these creatures in this deck don't belong. And then also, Paradise Druids, Leafkin Druids, having a split of 3 and 2 of those, I think is a little bit odd. And then along with the Leyline Prowler, I think it'd be better just to, if you were trying to stick with the whole mana ramp creature base, I think we should just do 4 of one and 4 of another. And then maybe cut a spot somewhere else, like a Beanstalk Giant could have been cut at that point. And then at that point, we have potentially access to, let's say, 4 Llanowar Elves, which are really good 1-drops, and then 4 Paradise Druids. But I don't know if we're going to take the deck that way. It is possible. It's one of the brews that I have in my head right now. But I I really think we really need to focus on that for now. So if we could go a creature based deck with this, and then we could even look at maybe adding some graveyard recursion, maybe some fight spells, because we do have, you know, death touch in the form of Leyline Prowler. Also, we definitely need to fix the mana base. Only having 2 overgrown tombs is hurting us a lot. So, and it's very possible that SuperEchidna only had a couple of overgrown tombs. You know, reading the summary of their deck, you know, they said that it definitely could be improved in some places, but you know, they may only have, you know, some of these cards. So, you know, I don't think Return of the Wild Speaker belongs in this particular build. Obviously, it could be good if we got a really big Beanstalk Giant in play, and then we could draw all of the cards, you know, with that. I mean, we get to draw cards off of Questing Beast and Massacre Girl, but I do think the one of is kind of a little awkward. We're really never going to cast, I don't think, the bottom half, the +3/+3, to give non-human non-human creatures +3/+3. So I just don't think that that's going to be a thing in this deck. Even though we do have quite a few creatures, I just don't think we want to play a Super Friends deck and then focus on creatures. So some of the Planeswalkers do make sense in this deck based on the fact that we are playing a lot of creatures. You know, like Vivian makes sense, you know, being able to Massacre Girl and then go get a Questing Beast for free off of that is pretty good. But then, you know, we just don't have a lot of other good synergistic things in the deck when it comes to that. So we're gonna play around with some things. We're definitely gonna fix the mana base. I promise you that. And if we do that, we may be taking out cards like Death Sprout, maybe taking cards like Beanstalk Giant out. Again, it just really depends on how we go about this, because I'm thinking more of a heavily creature based deck versus a lighter creature deck. So. But yeah, let's hop into our time machine, see what we come up with, and we will be back in just a few seconds. All right, we are now in the present. So we have skipped ahead a few seconds, and we have constructed the new Golgari Super Friends deck that you see in front of you now. And, you know, looking at this list, it does look a little awkward. We've changed out some of the Planeswalkers. Some of them stayed the same. But we wanted to, again, focus on a true Super Friends build. And I like playing Golgari, so we do see some familiar faces in the form of some of these some of these cards. So let's just go over them real quick. The land ramp that we're going to be playing is going to be in the form of 4 Mind Stones and 4 Explorers. So again, since we are straying away from the creature aspect of this deck, you know, for the winning, not winning in general, but the creature aspect of it, we are going to stick with Explorers and Mind Stones. I think they are going to be better overall. These do net us cards either immediately or later in the game. So these do replace themselves. So we can, you know, look at this as 8 ways to draw cards, you know, with drawing the card when we cast Explore, or later on when we no longer need the Mind Stone. So that is 8 additional cards. We have 1 copy of Gaia's Blessing. We don't necessarily need more than 1 of these in this deck. If we do happen to run into a mill deck, which that would be amazing, and this happened, obviously we have that in here. Also, we can just Balaged Recovery for the Gaia's Blessing. So at no point will we ever get to get an additional Gaia's Blessing in the deck, but we do have 1 in the sideboard. Or I'm sorry, we do have 1 in the deck and 1 in the sideboard. And actually, we don't have 1 in the sideboard now, but we're going to make that switch before we start instead of 1 of the cards we're playing. So we do have 3 Maelstrom Pulses. Again, this is a great removal spell, especially if they have multiples of something. Typically, you know, people always have multiple Mind Stones or multiple Guardian Idols or, multiple Llanowar Elves or Pelt Collectors, just stuff like that. Things usually come in multiples. So we are going to have a way to remove something along those lines. Do have the 2 Balaged Recoveries. This does act as kind of a miniature Gaia's Blessing. It can double as a land if we need it as well, but this could potentially just keep getting us back to Gaia's Blessing in order to really just keep the cycle going, always letting us put 3 cards back into our library and then reshuffling it. And since we are playing a lot of Planeswalkers, we do want to make sure that we have plenty of removal. So again, Maelstrom Pulses, we have 3 copies of Extinction Event now, we have 4 copies of Languish, and then on top of that, we have 2 ways to search for anything in our library or anything in our sideboard. So Mastermind's Acquisition, again, great. I don't think we need more than 2 copies of this in this particular build. I think 2 is going to be enough. And then finally, we did up the count of Casualties of War up to 4 because Casualties of War is one of our best cards, may be our best card in our deck. We could potentially get a lot of value out of this by destroying, 1 to 5 different permanent types. So that could be really, really cool. Still sticking on to Garrick Cursed Huntsman, 2 Liliana Dreadhorde Generals, but you may see some new Super Friends here. We have 2 copies of Nissa Vital Force. We get to potentially untap a land we control and attack with a 5/5, or we can return a permanent card from our graveyard to our hand. So if they kill one of our other Planeswalkers, this is a great way to bring it back. And then also, and then her ultimate is actually really easy to get to because we only need it to live 1 turn. Because then we get an emblem that says whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, we get to draw cards. So this is going to generate insane value if we actually do manage to ultimate Nissa. And then on top of that, we have 3 copies of Karn, Scion of Urza. I wanted another good way to draw cards. And then potential, we could use this to end the game if we need to. This is a backup plan, but this is really just used to generate card advantage. We get to reveal the top 2 cards of our library. They're forced to give us 1. 1 gets exiled. And then our -1 is letting us get back any card that they've previously exiled with Karn. So, and then the -2 is making construct tokens, which it's a solid backup plan. We have fixed the mana. We've gone pretty much the full Golgari land set. We did also up the interplanar beacons to 4 because we do want to, maximize our life gain in case we do run into some of those aggro decks. We need just a little bit extra life. So we did maximize that. We're still running a couple basics. Really no way to fetch them. We don't really need to. 1 Castle Locthwain. And again, we are playing 61 cards. That 61st card being that 1 Gaia's Blessing. And this is our sideboard for right now. It's kind of all over the place. We do have pretty much the full additional Planeswalker package in the sideboard. We have an Ashiok in case we need to start exiling graveyards, and we want to do the fancy way of the Planeswalker. We have the 4th Scion of Urza. We have a Vivian Reed in case we want to start destroying flyers or enchantments or artifacts. We have a Kaya, Bane of the Dead. I thought this was actually a pretty cool build, pretty cool idea because this basically turns off hexproof if we need it. We do have the cheesy Ugin brothers. We do have a plane-wide celebration in case we again need to get back permanents or gain a whole bunch of life or proliferate something. And and actually we did have a Gaia's Blessing in the sideboard, so my mistake. We already had that there. And the bottom card here we have is Field of Ruin, and that's just in case we happen to go against maybe like a blue-white deck or maybe a blue-white deck that gets out like a Search for Azcanta, or potentially like maybe a Primal Amulet deck that gets to flip a Primal Amulet. We have a way to actually deal with the land that's not counterable. Even though we do have Casualties of War, we do have this as kind of like a backup plan. So, all right, well, this is our version of Super Friends. It is pretty, expensive in regards to wild cards. A lot of mythics, a lot of rares, but we're gonna give it a shot. We're here to have some fun, and we'll see you guys at the wrap up. All right, let's do it. Let's play some Super Friends. Let's play the updated Golgari Super Friends version 2. We just need an opponent. The Crimson Curse. Are they playing red? We get to go first. I like this hand. Not the best hand, not the worst hand. They are playing red. Okay. Not doing anything too crazy over here. Trespasser's Curse, okay. So what are we going to tutor for? Maybe we just tutor for a land? They might take the tutor here. I think they actually do take the tutor. Maze Mind Tome. Well, I don't actually think we want Maze Mind Tome generating any value for you. So this is probably like a troll deck, right? Like a, what is it, Bridge Clack Troll. Stomping Grounds is kind of awkward. Okay. Makes it a lot less awkward. That actually makes our decision a lot easier now. Because they could have done that in response to us actually targeting something and then just getting us to waste a turn. But now we get to kill enchantment artifact and a land. Well, let's say that's a good target now. Artifact, enchantment, and a land. Yeah, definitely a troll deck. Seeing that Panharmonicon. Alright, well, we're going to do it again. Mindstone's pretty good, right? Mindstone lets them draw a card. We really need a way to draw cards right now. Wait for them to tap out, and then we can actually kill the Mindstone. Oh, that would have been so sick if they would have tapped it for something else, right? Karn's pretty good. Let's see what they give us. Right, we're going to kill that Mindstone. Killing the Mindstone is basically land destructing them. All right, so we're gonna get an overgrown tomb. We're gonna play an overgrown tomb, and we are going to kill this Mindstone. Their deck's very on flavor, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're gonna concede here. All right, let me read this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I told you. That's a scoop. That's a scoop. They're going to be left with literally just 2 blast zones in play. Yeah. All right. Good game, my friend. Good game. Literally on flavor. The Crimson Curse. Red with curses. Nice. Nice flavor. All right. Our game number 2. Pretty stoked about this deck. This deck is sweet. I love playing, you know, Golgari control. So it's just a matter of time until we just put a whole bunch of Planeswalkers together. Opponent goes first. It's a pretty decent hand, right? We get to turn 3 Languish if we need to. Probably don't get to do that anymore. Well, maybe we do. Maybe we do. Do we want Lily? Do we want the Liliana? I think it's too early for Liliana. Well, don't hate that. Well, don't have any Planeswalkers to combo that with, so this is only... It's any permanent, okay. Any permanent. Scavenging ooze, sure thing. Alright, so we're going to languish since we have all of them. Right? Literally no reason not to cast a languish there. Sure thing. Sure thing. Well, we're not going to cast that. So we're going to lose 2 cards. I'm surprised I didn't search and then exile 2 cards out of our graveyard. Actually surprised. The Scourge. How lull is this, right? I mean, it would have been a 2/2 until they started paying life. All right, Guy's Blessing. Oh, no. I think I would have pulled the Guy's Blessing there. That was actually a pretty good pickup. Masterminds, Explore. We'll put in 1 Languish. That way we have 2 in our deck. Typically, we wouldn't want to put in a Languish here because it is kind of a dead draw, but I don't hate Extinction Event. Agadeem's Awakening. Alright, well, let's pull you off of some card advantage. Vraska's pretty good. Are you going to sack lands?
Go ahead.
No?
For mercy, I'm listening.
How greedy are we? How greedy are we? I think we're that greedy.
Sacrifices must be made from time to time.
I'm very surprised they are not. I guess they just knew, right? They just knew. Well, we don't really have much going on, but our opponent definitely doesn't have much going on right now. All right, well, enjoy a Maelstrom Pulse. Good game, my friend. Good game. Good game. They did not like seeing all that removal. All right. All right. Game number 3. Let's keep the streak alive. That's the thing a lot of these decks don't realize is it actually, we have to go the real long game to win. You know, a really, really long game. We have to mulligan this, unfortunately. Don't hate it. We're going to keep it. So, going to put a swamp back. Colorless, colorless, colorless. What to say? Let's make sure we draw a land. Alright, so they're ramping. As are we. Alright, we're getting a blooming marsh. Woo, blooming marsh. Solos, huh? Actually didn't give us a Blooming Marsh. That's weird. Just realized that. What's the Masterminds acquisition? Why would they give us the Masterminds acquisition? Oh, we're getting another Karn. We're definitely getting another Karn. I'm really tempted to actually just go tutor for a land, right? Yeah, I just want to make sure we have that in our hand right now, right? Yep. I mean, we're gonna hit you pretty good here.
I will not stop.
We're gonna hit you pretty good. We get 4 hits here? Tormod's Crypt is fine. Destroy an artifact. That's an artifact. I mean, that is a lot of value out of one card, right? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, we have to keep that, right? Absolutely have to keep this. Yeah. Let's double check.
This will aid us.
Yep, I mean, we're still going to land artifacts. I wonder if they have another monument in their hand. They do. All right, so let's take a look here. Make sure there's a really good card on top. Right? It's pretty good. Because they don't know that we have a way to remove that.
Use of that later.
And I think we just go ahead and go get another one. Why? Because Edron Archive, yep. You can't sack that. Oh, thank you for doing that now. Thank you for doing that now. Land and an artifact. Might as well get this Garrick, right? Oh, yeah. Whew. That feels good taking down that colorless deck. Oh, man. That felt good. Getting our revenge from was it our game 1, I think? With the original version? Feels good. Not the same person, but still. Great draw. Great draw. Good games. Good games. One more. All right. Final boss, everyone. Final boss. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Will we go undefeated with the updated Golgari Superfriends list? I hope so. Metter Duff. We go first. Don't hate this hand. Could be a little bit better, but we do get to explore on turn 2. Assuming we keep it in our hand. Alright, well, we did keep it in our hand. Good news, everybody. How many burning trees you got? No. Okay, well. Oh, so you are literally mono red. Oh my gosh, we just wasted that. Oh well. Luckily, the magic gods deem the top of our deck worthy. Let's draw a land. An untapped land, please, deck. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So beautiful. I could see you attacking and having an Ember Cleave, which is fine, because we just get to Casualties of War at next turn. I mean, we're going to block, right? We're going to double block. You Ember Cleave it, and then we kill all of your permanents. Yep. Okay. Was it worth it?
You're not scared of dogs.
Land, creature, artifacts. Target a creature, target a land. Okay, we take 2. Seems fine. Oh, but you were our final boss. Come back. Oh, man. That just seemed really, really, really good, right? Oh, man. That was great. That was great. Well, let's talk about this sweet deck. Let's talk about it. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the wrap-up. And we had a lot of fun. We actually killed it with our version of the deck. So overall, we went 1 and 2 with the original version. We lost to the colorless deck because they really just drew out of what we were doing. We were actually doing a pretty good job of controlling the early game, but then they just drew out of it with an Ulamog, or no, I'm sorry, with an Ugin, I think it was, and then just wiped the floor with us after that. We couldn't really do anything. And then we lost to a new perspective deck, and it was really our fault for not killing a land. But at the time, we didn't know what they were doing. We thought maybe they were playing like a weird either Teamer or Simic control deck. So we didn't really see all of the cycling cards. We did see 2 cycling cards, I think, at the time. So we lost there because we could have Casualties of War, hit a land which had a enchantment on it, and then we could have hit another enchantment and kind of, stuck them back on land just a little bit. But I'm not too sure that we still would have won that game. We didn't really have much else going on, and they could have just, I think they had a Sheffet Monitor or 2 in their hand anyway, and they could have just kind of gotten out of it. But still, 1 and 2 with the original deck is still good. Anytime you're winning with these decks, it's great. And again, small sample size. And then also with our version of the deck, we definitely went 4-0. So I'm really stoked about that. So this is our version. Again, their version looks a little bit different than ours. So Their SuperEchidna's version was very creature heavy. It had a lot of basic lands, not a lot of land search. I felt like with the amount of basic lands in the deck, we probably could have put in like cultivates and stuff like that. And we did consider that. And again, we also talked about, you know, going with Llanowar Elves and, you know, just really cleaning up the whole Mana Dork package instead of going 2 and 3 and 2, maybe just doing 4 and 4. We had a couple different builds, but ultimately we went with the build that you see here, very more Super Friends centric. You know, we're not really relying on creatures. We're really just relying on the control and the Super Friends aspect of it, because, you know, in this type of deck, you're really role playing as one of the Planeswalkers, I feel like, and you're imagining that, you know, Garruk or Liliana or Nissa or Karn, they're the ones that are actually reaching into their bag of tricks and actually casting these spells like Casualties of War, Languish, Extinction Event, Maelstrom Pulse, and they're the ones, they're the actual, like, you know, wizards or Planeswalkers that are actually just doing all of this. So I felt like for this particular build of a Golgari Super Friend version, Golgari Super Friends, this was very on flavor. And I really think, at least in my opinion, it made the deck very, very fun to play. So, you know, we didn't necessarily get down a lot of the Planeswalkers. We didn't really even get to utilize Nissa, I don't feel like, at all. But Karn did a spectacular job. The Masterminds acquisitions were great in the deck. Garruk was great, as you saw. You know, Liliana, we didn't really get to do too much with either. But again, I think this deck you know, has a lot of great synergy, and this is a deck that I would continue playing this deck as is. And you're going to have a lot of these cards. You may not have a lot of these cards. Like, not everybody has Nissa because Kaladesh and being a mythic and everything. But most people who watch the channel, I feel like, are already going to have Liliana's, Garruk's, Karns, and the whole Golgari package, and then on top of the land and everything. So yeah, I definitely recommend this deck. It's a lot of fun. Golgari is a very fun color combination to play. So again, if you enjoy Decktember and you want to be like our friend SuperEchidna, again, thank you, which, by the way, thank you so much for submitting this. But if you want to be like our friend here and get your deck featured for Decktember, just hop into the Discord, join the Discord, hop down to the Decktember channel, look for the pin post at the top, see the template that I have in there, grab that template, and then just put your deck in there for me to look at. We'll add it to the spreadsheet, and we'll maybe randomly pull your deck out of there with our number generator. So that is this deck. So again, if you enjoy the channel and the video, please subscribe to the channel, like the channel, leave a comment down below. Check out all the cool links down below. Twitch, Discord, Patreon, anything you can do to help grow the channel would be amazing of you. And again, Decktember is my way of giving back to you all right now. So please, 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 I hope you enjoy it. I just want you to keep staying safe, keep coming back for more, and we will see you next time. Remember, this channel would not exist without such amazing viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for interacting with the channel and helping grow the community. And a very big special thank you to the Patreons listed here for supporting the channel.